So the technique that I'm going to be talking about today is something that's called flipping the classroom. Now, some of you may have heard of flipping the classroom. Some of you may even use flipping the classroom in one way or the other. But what I'm going to do is give you just a basic rundown of what flipping the classroom means. And the main benefit of flipping the classroom is that it uses technology to humanize teaching. Now, some of you may feel that that might be a little counterintuitive, but hopefully after I explain to you what flipping the classroom is, you'll understand that it really does bring teaching to a more human level. So when we're talking about flipping the classroom, I'm sure you have lots of questions, and I'm going to address 4 of those questions today. The first question I'm going to address is, what is it? Secondly, why should I do it? Third, what do I need to do it? And lastly, where can I get more information? So first we're going to talk about what is flipping the classroom. Basically, flipping the classroom is delivering basic information outside of the classroom through technology. Now right now, when we think of what students do outside of the classroom for our classes, usually we think of homework. Now, some of you use homework a little more than others, and oftentimes though, when we say homework to students, they think of going home, sitting at a desk, and completing or not completing an assignment. Now instead, what I'd like you to challenge you to do is take that concept and get rid of the idea of sending them home with work to do. But instead, what you're going to do is you're going to give them the opportunity to do something they're going to do anyway, and that is to use the computer. So what you're going to do is assign them to go to your website and find your pre-recorded lecture. So you're going to do exactly what I'm doing right now. You're going to make a little lecture, and the students are going to go home, and for their homework, instead of doing an assignment that is meant to synthesize the information that you've given them during the class, they're going to get that basic information right there from their computer, from a lecture that you have created by using this technology. And so instead of them falling asleep while they're doing their homework, or maybe being confused about what it is that you've asked them to do, and maybe sending you an email that you might reply to the next day so that they don't have a whole lot of time to really get it, then what they're doing is just getting some basic information that then they can come into the classroom and they can now ask you questions in the classroom. Now, another way to flip the classroom is to use this technology for assessments. So we can assess the mastery of students by using this technology as well. And this technology might be something that you're familiar with. A way to do this is to use Castle Learning. So Castle Learning assessments can be used to measure student achievement, and they can kind of go at their own pace with this. So instead of taking the time to lecture in the classroom and taking the time to assess them in the classroom, you can do this both outside of the classroom, which really frees you up to do a lot more in the classroom. So this may answer the next question, and that is, why should I do this? What's in it for me? You might think to yourself, my proficiency is high, my students are successful, I enjoy my class, my students seem to enjoy my class. Why should I make this drastic change? Well, one thing it does is it really does humanize your classroom. Now you might think to yourself, well, me getting up there and talking and giving a lecture, that's certainly more of a human interaction than is them watching my lecture on the computer. But if they watch your lecture on the computer, then they can formulate their own questions, and they can bring those questions to class, which creates a greater degree of interaction, not only between students and teachers, but between students and other students, because now hopefully they're coming in with a little bit of information that if they don't understand, instead of trying to use the information that they learned in class to do their assignments, now they're using the information that they learned outside of the class to do assignments during class, so that you now have the ability to observe and address issues more directly and immediately. So if you're asking them to synthesize something and they don't know how to do it, Now they can come to you directly and ask you questions about what it is you're asking them to do. Another benefit is that there is built-in differentiation with flipping the classroom. Because when students watch the lecture, they can take notes at their own pace, instead of the entire class having to wait for students, or some students moving ahead. Students can go at their own pace. They can zip through it if they get the information, or they can take it as slowly as they want and repeat it as many times as they want by using it at home in their own comfortable setting. And now you can assess students when they're ready for assessments. It's not a sort of lockstep assessment process, but now students can assess when they're ready to show mastery of the information. Now, another benefit for flipping the classroom is now you have more time to have fun in the classroom. Now, obviously, fun is relative, but when I'm talking about fun, is greater opportunity to create engaging activities during your class time. So if you saw something that you were like, oh, that would be such an amazing activity, but I just don't have time for it, now you're going to have that time. You're going to recapture an extra 20, 25, 30 minutes during your class time that you might have spent lecturing. And the last reason you should do it is because it gets rid of the idea of a sage on the stage. It really democratizes your classroom setting. Instead of you being the keeper of the information, now you have the opportunity to get into your class and really get engaged with your students, not just you standing up at the lectern and calling on students. Instead, now it's about engagement, it's about activity, and this is really developing a great relationship now with your students. Now the next question is, what do I need to do it? So in order to use this technology, what kinds of software, hardware do you need? The first thing you need is a CMS wiki site. Now this is available to all teachers, but not everybody uses them. Now if you're going to flip the classroom, this is going to be something that you have to become familiar with. And I've got to say, by experience, the wiki site is very easy to navigate. The next thing you need is Microsoft Office with PowerPoint. In order to make these amazing presentations, you need to have PowerPoint. Third is you need some sort of screen recording software. Right now I'm using a trial version of Camtasia. I also hear that Jing is a popular screen recording software. Some of these cost a little bit of money, others don't. I'm kind of still new at this, so I'm kind of feeling out what it is that's going to work best for me. And the last thing you need is a Wacom Bamboo tablet. Now, that is what is allowing me to create these amazing drawings on this PowerPoint. Is my tablet. Now obviously I have to get a little bit better at this because this is not something that I could sell to anybody as real art, but it does give you the opportunity to underline specific words, or to highlight things, or to create word bubbles that your amazing drawings are going to use. So, 4 basic things you need, and then you can get started with your flipping the classroom. Now the last part here is, where can I get more information? Now on the agenda you see a link to a website, and this is really what got me interested in flipping the classroom. And this is a little TED conversation by Salman Khan. Now Salman Khan started off tutoring his cousins and creating these kind of web videos for them to watch. But this has moved into what's called the Khan Academy, where he has over 2,000 of these web videos that you can access as well. In particular, they use them in math and science. So you may not even need to create your own web content. You might be able to get it from the Khan Academy. He also has assessments on there that you can use. So this is a really excellent resource. And then if you want to get more information about starting and how this works and why this works, you can go to this link, and this will give you a link to 2 teachers out in Colorado, 2 science teachers, Jonathan Bergman and Aaron Sams, who have used this idea to great effect in their classroom. Now, there are lots of questions about flipping the classroom, and I want you to feel free to ask me or just go to Google and type in flipping the classroom, because there is lots of information and even lots of data showing why this works and how this can help you be more successful in your classroom. So I hope this has given you some information. I hope it's gotten you excited about this new kind of teaching strategy, because this is what I'm going to be doing this year, and I really hope that some of you will join me in what I think is going to really revolutionize the way I teach. Thanks.